What is up, people? Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to write the Supreme Court Case Comparison FRQ, so let's do it. I think this is going to end up being your favorite FRQ on the AP exam. If you know the details of each of your 15 required cases, you are starting off with a guaranteed 2 out of 4 points in this FRQ. That's an amazing value for you. So first tip, know your required cases. Know the facts, the holding, and the constitutional principle of each case. And I just happen to have videos for each of the 15 cases, so make sure you check those out. Okay, so another great thing about this FRQ is that it's the same format every single time. They're going to give you a couple paragraphs summarizing a new Supreme Court case, one that you haven't learned about, that you didn't read in class. Don't panic. Everything's fine. The purpose of this FRQ is to see if you can apply what you know about your required cases to a new case that you've never seen before. And they're going to tell you which required case to compare it to. So let's take a look at a released FRQ from 2019. Okay, so it gives a couple of paragraphs of info about the new case, Hernandez versus Texas. You can pause the video and read the paragraphs if you want. Now, the beauty of this FRQ is that parts A and B are basically the same every single time. Part A tells you to identify the constitutional clause that is common to both the new case and the required case, this time Brown versus Board of Education. That means to answer part A, you don't even need to read the paragraphs. You should know that Brown versus Board is based on the Equal Protection Clause, and that's it. Since you're just identifying, your answer is literally one sentence. The clause that is common to both cases is the Equal Protection Clause. It doesn't get any easier than that. Part B looks a little trickier, but really it isn't bad either. It says, explain how the facts in both Brown versus Board of Education and Hernandez versus Texas led to a similar decision in both cases. Now, what makes Part B different than all of the other FRQ parts is that you can earn 2 points in Part B alone. The first point is earned for explaining the facts of Brown versus Board. Now, make sure you know what that means. The facts refers to the background story of the case, not the holding or the result or the constitutional clause. So to earn this point, describe the background, that Black children were being prevented from attending public schools because of race. Take a look at the scoring sheet for this point. You earn the point by stating that schools were segregated, that Black students were prevented from enrolling in schools because of their race, or something like that. But notice what you wouldn't get the point for. You would not earn the point for saying that Brown versus Board ruled segregated schools unconstitutional. That's the decision, the holding, and you're being asked for the facts. Next in Part B, you're told to explain how the facts in each case led to a similar decision. Now we need to use what you were given in the description of the cases to find similarities between the two cases. Okay, so they both involve discrimination against a minority group, preventing them from attending certain schools or from serving on juries. Both cases use the Equal Protection Clause to overturn the existing policy, segregated schools in Brown, or jury discrimination in Hernandez. To earn this point, now you have to just write it. Remember that you're explaining, so give specific evidence from both the required case and the new one, and then explain how those similarities led to a similar outcome. Make sure you write enough, and that's the second point in B. So again, if you know everything about your required cases, there's zero reason why you shouldn't have all 3 points right now. This FRQ is awesome because while you don't know what new case it's going to be about, you know exactly what they're going to ask you for 3 out of the 4 points. Part C appears to be the wild card, meaning that it looks like there's more variation for it than the others. But even still, it's going to be a describe or explain, and you know how to handle those. Keep in mind the guidelines for explains. Elaborate, provide evidence, make sure it's in the context of the non-required case. In this particular version, it asks you to explain how an interest group could use the decision in Hernandez versus Texas to advance its agenda. Pause the video for a good example of how to respond to a prompt just like this. On Part C, sometimes they asked about limiting the impact of the court's ruling. So it's good to have checks on the Supreme Court in mind for this. The ultimate check is a constitutional amendment, but these others are all possibilities as well. Kind of just depends on the scenario. So this isn't a list to memorize. I want you to understand how they work since their effectiveness is dependent on the specific scenario. And that's it. There's really nothing to worry about with this one. Learn your cases inside and out, and this FRQ should be a point of strength for you. Until next time, this has been a LaMoney production. Thanks for watching this video. Please do me a favor and hit that like button for me. And for even more help on the required cases, check out the Ultimate Review Packet. It has great study guides for the cases and the documents, practice multiple choice questions, and 3 full-length multiple choice practice tests. All right, so check it out, and I will see you next time.